The presence of multiple links inside a lag. It treats the entire lag as a single entity. That creates a problem because if there are single link failures, then it becomes difficult for BFD to detect that a single link has gone down. And we depend upon LSCP to actually time out. So LSCP is a slow protocol, and the fastest that it can run is 1 second. So it takes us around 3 seconds to detect that a link has failed. So all this while, all the traffic that gets hashed to that link gets dropped. So that's an issue. So we can use Ethernet OAM mechanisms and we can do faster detection of links going down. But there are several operators who already run BFD in their networks and they don't want to use the L2 protocols for that. Next slide, please. So the proposal is to run BFD over each component link of the lag. So there's some vendors who already have a proprietary implementation where they run BFD over each component link of the lag. That's not good. So operators want a standardized mechanism to run BFD over the lag. Next slide, please. So the proposal is this. We run BFD over each component link, and that BFD session is called a micro BFD session. Each micro BFD session is just like a normal regular BFD session. We had a lot of discussion on the mailing list on the kind of encapsulation that we should use, and pretty much the consensus was on using an IP UDP encapsulation. We're using a unicast IP UDP encapsulation so that we're as close as possible to the hardware and fault sharing. The lag manager effectively becomes a client of BFD, and it requests the micro sessions to be established per member link. This is what exists currently. Next slide, please. So again, this is what exists in the current draft. The micro BFD sessions for a particular port is requested when the port gets attached to the aggregator. So aggregator and all, this is IEEE language. And
do you mind switching just back to this mic? We'll turn that on.
okay. Okay. Yeah, actually that's So the aggregator, that's a IEEE language, and I'm not an IEEE expert. So, and the session is deleted. The micro BFD session is deleted when the port is detached from the aggregator. That's what exists today. When the micro BFD session goes down, the member link must be taken out from the traffic load balancer. Next slide, please. Right. So when do we start a micro BFD session? In the current draft, we say we do it when if LSCP is present, and when the LSCP is in the distributing state, that's when we start the micro BFD session. When the link is in the LSCP distribution state, it will not be used for carrying the data traffic till the BFD session comes up. And only when the BFD session comes up that we'll actually start using it for forwarding. The scheme works, but the problem is it couples the two protocols together, LSCP and BFD. The link is removed from the active set from LSCP when the micro session goes down. Next slide. So the next step. So what's the next step? So right now, if you look at the current proposal, the current 03 version, LSCP and BFD are kind of tied together. That's not good. So we need to somehow separate the two so that LSCP and BFD can run independent of each other. Link cannot be in the forwarding use when BFD is not up. And the other thing is, the current draft is quite specific to LSCP and lag. We don't, for example, talk about what happens if it's a MPLS component link. So that's something that we're not talking in the current draft. I'm not saying we should do that. It's just a question that's out there. The next step. The other proposal is, and these slides were made before we got the IEEE response. So the next proposal is, don't touch LSCP at all. If BFD goes down, just remove that link from your load balancer and you let LACP run the way it runs today, and LACP is running independently of your BFD. So this way, you don't touch LACP at all. When LACP times out, it'll do whatever it has to do, and when BFD times out, we'll remove it from the load balancer so that we don't use it for IP traffic forwarding. So this way, it becomes very clean. We don't do anything with LACP. Yeah, so I'm done. So now we've received the response from IEEE, and so do you have? Okay. So that makes things that you can take.
And again, I'm not going to show the actual response text from IEEE that is present in the agenda and also on the mailing list. But the long and short of it is, we approached IEEE and said, hey, we'd like to do this work. We do not want to step on your toes. So we're trying to avoid some of the contention that we've had previously with other organizations. And we got back a very friendly response. He said, we think that this work is something that we can do together. And more importantly, they actually gave a suggestion in their response of how can we actually influence LACP in a standards compatible, cross-SDO manner that we can put into our own normative text. And as far as they're concerned, basically in the interface bit. And so the future direction is number one. Now that we know that IEEE is happy with this work, take it to our ADs and say, can we get this adopted as a working group item? I'm seeing a general agreement. And the next steps after that are consider the split off drafts and see if we want to pick one of the strategies as our primary strategy and integrate that into the base draft. And if not, okay, so Manav is actually suggesting maybe separate, and that also would procedurally work.
So can I suggest that you respond to IEEE with more or less the sort of things you've set up about your plan, and then when you have the new version of the draft, you show it to them, because a couple of liaisons saves any misunderstanding in the future.
Absolutely. The goal was to figure out what the meeting was going to say and see if there's consensus within the working group.
Yeah, actually two comments here, Sami Boutros. Yeah, the draft as well covers a case where there is no LACP running. So it doesn't mandate to have LACP running on the member links, but it can work without them, without LACP running. As for the LACP interaction with BFD here, it should be very similar to having any layer 2 OEM protocol running on the member links, CFM or others.
And that's actually a very good point, is one thing we should think about specifying is expected interaction when something like CFM is also running the link. That interaction would be saying that if you're running CFM, don't run BFD.
Do you want such a thing in the draft?
We need to figure out what we want to say. So we should make sure that the details at least covered.
We should let the operator decide whether he wants to run CFM or BFD. I mean, why should a standards document say that?
The reason we want to be a little bit clear about that detail is you're running two protocols that are impacting link state. Whether it be, in this case, the LACP bundle number is up, and CFM potentially may have a similar impact in terms of LACP, since CFM is going to be IEEE's mechanism to influence LACP.
Why is MD31?
You should just run one protocol.
Jeff gave you that as a possibility as your answer.
Yeah, we should previously one. Yeah, choosing one is fine.
So technically we also don't say what happens if you're running spanning tree and BFD at the same time. It's generally a very bad idea. And people basically only run one or the other, so I think it's perfectly acceptable to go down this path.
So Rob Shakir, BT. I think it might be worth having something in the draft that says what happens, what the interactions and what the failure modes that you might be introducing, what rope you might be giving yourself to hang yourself with if you're running both at the same time. But I think the operational choice, if you want to run both of them, then go ahead and run both of them.
Technically, the answer that IEEE gave us is said that we are not directly programming LACP, we're programming an input to LACP. So if it's possible to set that variable down from two different paths, it should hopefully not be a problem. The remainder of the session is left open to discuss any details about the BFD Over LAG. So if you have comments not only on this proposal but other mail on the mailing list.